Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Satan and Coffee. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you all had a great weekend. I am sorry that I was completely MIA over the weekend. Honestly, like what Mystic said was 100% accurate. We just needed a weekend with no shows, just to kind of recharge and get the batteries put together, like recharge the batteries is kind of like what we needed. But I hope you're all doing well. So the title of this episode kind of says it, like kind of is pretty self-explanatory, I would think, right? So let's cut the shit. Yeah. Right? A lot of people out there call themselves occultists, but have made their entire fucking personalities a trauma response. They're broke, bitter, and blaming everything but their own cowardice. This episode, it's for those ready to burn their excuses and build an empire with themselves. The two entities we're going to be focusing on today, we're going to be talking about today, is going to be Lucifer and Belial, which I think are the two most important points to work with. Wow. Talk about horrible fucking timing. Sorry, just random fucking phone call from the UK. So we're going to be focusing on Lucifer and Belial, which I think are the two most important kind of entities to focus on and work with, when it comes to this type of movement, right? So to open up and kind of start here, get the lie of the wounded witch and the rise of victim cults, which is the best way I know how to put them, describe it. Too many hide behind pain and call it power. The occult is not a fucking support group. I'm sorry. It's not. Get over it. Okay? There's plenty of support groups out there. The occult isn't one of them. Okay? The best way to describe the occult, especially the left-hand path, it's a fucking forge. Right? It's a crucible. Right, that you go through, that you push through, that brings out the best in you. And if you're sitting there bitching and complaining about everything that is happening around you, oh, it's exhausting. It's exhausting to see. Right? Everyone wants to blame us. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because there's so many fucking people in the occult that just blame everything around them for why their life is so fucking horrible. They blame the rich. They blame the government. They blame the companies. And I'm sorry, but it's not the rich. It's not the government. At least if like you're in the UK, you're in the US, this is the focal point, right? Okay. We're not talking about other countries. So if you're going to jump in the comments, well, what about this country that's suppressing its people? We're talking about first world westernized society. This is what we're talking about, because these are the cultures where you can openly be an occultist and not get fucking burned or thrown off a building for it. So there's that. That's what we're focusing on. It's not the government. It's not the companies. It's not the rich. Feeling down, it must be a psychic vampire. Who's your boss? Random YouTuber, right? Exactly. Everybody's a fucking narcissist. Everybody except for you, right? Everybody, everybody's draining you. Everybody's taking from you, right? And it's just like, shut the fuck up. Like, it really, like when I say cut the shit, like I fucking mean it, cut the shit. The occult is a path of power. It's not pity, right? You don't become stronger by licking your wounds. Like, you keep them fresh. to excuse inertia. Like that's what you're doing. Like you sit there and you complain about all of these things and do nothing. Right? And it's so sad because I used to call Catholicism the lazy man's religion, right? Because you fall on your knees and you never get up. You fall on your knees and you beg God to fix shit in your life. And it never happens because you never make a move. And now people are equating ritual, spells, and treating them the same way that a Christian treats prayer. They light the candle, they light the incense, they do an incantation, and then they expect the spirits to fucking fix everything without getting off of their fucking ass and doing some of the fucking work themselves. You want a job? Go find a job. You want a partner in life? Well, you're not going to find one locked in your house. You're not going to find one if you're not connecting to people. You're not meeting new people. It's not going to happen, right? And so with this part, like when we talk about, I said we were going to talk about Lucifer and Belial here. So Lucifer is the bringer of light, illumination without coddling. You need to see the path, right? So what should you be asking Lucifer? Well, show me where I need to be going. This is what I want. Don't say, give this to me. Ask, how do I get this? How do I go from here to there? What's the path to do that? Right? And sometimes the path has blockages. Sometimes the path has obstacles. Those obstacles are usually shit that you have in your life that you no longer need. Dead weight. Friends that aren't actually friends, that don't really fucking matter. Family that keeps telling you that you can't achieve the things that you want to achieve, that tell you that your ideas are fucking crazy or stupid. That's where Belial comes in, right? It's a war on dependency. Because here's the thing, if you keep dead weight in your life, right? It's because you are dependent on that dead weight in one way or another, because you are keeping it in your life, right? If you live in a place that you don't like and you're not moving, if you're at a job you fucking hate and you're not getting a new job. And here's the thing, this is the thing that irritates the shit out of me with this stuff. So many people will turn around like when you say that statement, right? You say, hey, you don't like your job, get a new job, right? They're like, well, but I need to pay the bills. Nobody's fucking saying quit your job right now, dipshit. Like that, nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying, like, you don't like where you live on the streets until you find a new place. Like, how do we not have, like, a monicum of common sense and logic with some of these phrases and some of these things that are said? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. A little bit of fucking common sense. Right? Like, I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there who kind of sat there and said that, like, common sense doesn't exist anymore. And I'm really kind of starting to believe it because of the amount of people that actually fall into this shit. Right? It's kind of crazy. It really is. Right? So when I sit there and I tell you and I say, if you don't like your job, get a new job. That doesn't mean quit your job so you can't pay your bills. That means update your resume. Take a better picture. Check to make sure your resume hits the points that it needs to hit. Make sure that you have some certifications. If you want to change careers, at least a few certifications. Google's a good place if you're going to go into tech. And then start looking for that new thing, right? Well, people are like, well, I don't have the time, right? I don't have the time to get certifications. I don't have the time, you know, I've got kids, I've got bills I have to pay, I've got this, I've got that. Excuses. If that's your reasoning for not changing your life, then you don't want it bad enough. You don't. And that's the truth of it. If your excuse is, I work a 9 to 5, I get home and I gotta take care of the kids and spend time with the kids and spend time with the family, and then I'm just so tired after eating dinner that I just want to go to sleep because I have to work the next day, you don't want it bad enough. I don't feel sorry for you. I don't. Guess what? I do this. I still work a 9 to 5. I do this 3 times a week with Satan and coffee. Then you've got Adversary of my adversary and Apocrypha. Plus the design work that I do. Plus everything else that I do. So, what's your excuse? Because I'm going to tell you right now, the 9 to 5 thing, not an excuse, not a reason. You're holding on. You've reached a certain level of comfortability, though you're not 100% satisfied. You are staying inside of that comfortability because it's comfortable, because it feels safe. For as much as you hate it, it feels safe. And here's the thing. At the end of the day, when it comes to the aspect of the occult that focuses on personal growth, it's not meant to feel safe. It's really not. It's really not. The left-hand path isn't meant to feel safe. It's meant to feel powerful. It's meant to feel empowering. It's meant to feel motivational to yourself. It's meant to show you what you're capable of doing and the heights that you're capable of reaching. Here's the thing. People love to say, eat the rich, right? Eat the rich. That's the big thing, right? Eat the rich. Because, they can't stand, Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and Steve Jobs when he was alive. I guess now, Steve Jobs was kind of the thing. Tim Cook's just a CEO, Mark Zuckerberg's another one, right? And they talk about people's net worth. This one's funny. They talk about people's net worth. They're like, well, Mark Zuckerberg's net worth is like $8 million. It's like, you realize that like Mark Zuckerberg's net worth, at least at the time, a few years ago, was 8 million, because that was the estimated value of Facebook. But Facebook wasn't generating any money. Mark Zuckerberg was living off of investor money. He wasn't actually making any money. So he was actually producing more debt than he was actually making money, at least back then. Now I think he's kind of flipped the script a little bit, but somebody's net worth doesn't mean that that's the amount of money that they have, right? Like, people are looking like Elon Musk's like net worth. It's like, well, he just gives people like a little bit of this. It's like, that's not how much money he actually has. That's including assets like businesses and the net value of those businesses that aren't cold hard cash. That's one thing. 2, the reason why you're pissed off at the rich, if you're one of the people, if you're watching this and you're like, yeah, eat the rich, you're a moron. You're a moron. Because you don't have $1 million idea in a capitalist society that would allow you to actually achieve a goal such as that. You're angry at the people that did. And people like to sit there and say, well, why do they need 5 mansions? Because they fucking can. Right? If they've got 5 houses, 16 cars, and 4 yachts, guess what? It's none of your business of what they want to buy with their money. They have it because they can have it. Right? Why do I do this? Why do I do Satan and coffee? Why do I have a $3,000 computer sitting in front of me? Because I can. That's why. Because I can. That's the only reason you need. Right? What, you think I went out and bought everything in one shot? No. Oh, there's a creepy peak dinosaur thing. What's up, Samael? I didn't buy everything in one shot. I built it over years, just like Jeff Bezos built Amazon, just like Bill Gates built Microsoft, just like Steve Jobs built Apple. Do you think they woke up one morning and they were multimillionaires? No, they fucking built something over time. And then that's the thing. Like, people don't look at the process that it took to build. Amazon was Amazon Books. They only did books. I remember that. I remember going to Amazon Books to find books. And that's what it was known for fucking books. That was it. That's how it started. Now it's a whole other thing. And now everybody hates Jeff Bezos because he's rich. What this falls into, the reason why we're talking about this, is because part of the victimhood mentality is taking in the idea that because someone else has something, I can't have what I want. Like, you do realize that there's no limit on how much money you can actually make, right? Like, I mean, the shit is so inflated, right? That, like, it's just printed off on a weekly basis, practically. Like, I mean, that's not factually correct, but it's for effect, right? It's an exaggeration to make a fucking point because I know somebody's going to be, it's not printed every week. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's like, oh, shut the fuck up. Like, people have forgot what it means to fucking speak hyperbolically. Like, really. The point of the matter is, if you are not in your life where you want to be in your life, it's not Jeff Bezos' fault. It's not Steve Jobs' fault. It's not Bill Gates' fault. It's not your mom's fault. It's not your brother's fault. It's not your girlfriend's fault. It's not your kid's fault. It's not your job's fault. It's yours. It is yours. And the thing is like these victim cults, because that's what they are. These groups of people that exist in a victim mentality bubble. That they are a victim of everything. It's disgusting. And it leads into performative pain, right? It's okay to be angry, to be upset about where your life is. And I suppose it is human nature to try to direct that anger towards something external to yourself that would indicate the necessity of attacking something, to have an enemy image, so you don't feel like it falls squarely on your shoulders to need to be able to fix things because you don't know how to fix them. So if you need to fix things in your life and you don't know how to fix them because you haven't really examined your shit, it's a lot easier to turn around and say, well, it's his fault, her fault, this thing's fault, and have all of these external problems outside of yourself instead of taking accountability and responsibility for your own actions of where your life is, fixing it. Right? Now, productive practices, right? So here's the thing. Are you just reblogging shadows or integrating them? Are you living it or LARPing it? And the problem is we've talked about this in brief, but the thing is I do feel that a lot of people are LARPing the occult, and it's getting really hard to kind of tell online, like, who's legit and who isn't, because it's becoming so performative, and we're so stuck in this Hollywood mentality of how things need to look when you're an occultist, right? Like your altar needs to look a certain way. Like you need to have the incense burning in a certain direction, and the candles facing in a certain way, and so many candles, and some giant pot with a weird fucking fire thing in the middle. It's like, ooh, magic. That's not what it is. That's not the occult. That's the performative aspect of the occult. And yes, the occult inherently has a performative aspect of it. But the problem is a lot of people focus on only the performative aspect of it and not the legitimacy of how magic actually works. It has become so much about calling on a demon or a god or something else to show power. Do you know, most of the time when I do a ritual, like myself, I don't use anything. Whoa, there's something that nobody's fucking talked about, and I don't know how fucking long. Guess what? You do have power. You are an energetic being. You have your own energy that you can send out into the universe. You don't need to use Lucifer and Belial or Baphomet or some entity every fucking time that you do a ritual. You don't. Most of the time when I do a ritual or I do a spell, guess what? I'm not calling on anything. I use me. When was the last time that you used yourself, your own energy, in a ritual? Most of the people are probably just getting into the occult. Never. Fucking never. So here's the thing. How are we going to talk about personal power and then constantly call on the demonic or call on something external to ourselves to manipulate shit? When was the last time you did a ritual with your own power and energy? When was it? Have you ever done a ritual like that? Has it ever occurred to you that you can use your own power and ability? Has it ever occurred that you can focus your own energy to get results? Of course, how you can get guaranteed results. There's no such thing as guaranteed results. I mean, I know that's why you're saying it, but I mean, that's also like an irritating thing, but that's a sales tactic, right? Guaranteed or your money back. But don't pay me through PayPal because they let you charge back for over 6 months. Ugh. Most of the time when I do ritual, don't call on anything. Don't call on Lucifer, don't call on Baphomet, don't call on Belial or Lilith or anything like that. I use my own energy, I use my own power, my own ability. When I do call on an entity, it's not for them to do something, but it is so I can gain gnosis of the process and better prepare myself for a deeper, more powerful ritual. And then on occasion, when it's a big thing, or what I perceive as a big thing, what's a big thing is different for each and every one of us, and that's perfectly fine. But when it's a big thing, then I'll call on something, be like, hey, I need a little pick me up here. I need a little boost, right? To kind of get this out and about. Yeah? All right? So, it's the difference between performative pain and productive practice. Everything you do is designed to rework your thoughts and energy to allow your work towards the goal. Exactly. Exactly. Right? And that doesn't mean that you can't work inside of archetypes. Working inside of an archetype makes sense. Like if there's a certain way that you want to bend and focus your energy, that makes sense, right? If you want all out destructive energy that is going to rearrange your skeletal structure of a life, right? Belial. Work with Belial. because Belial will tear your shit down, flip your shit upside down, and then kick it in the ass and say, there you go. Right? Well known for that. Belial is very well known for that. And then you use your own energy to reconstruct everything. Belial's not going to build anything for you. Lucifer's not going to build anything for you. They're not going to give you shit. Right? Beyond popular belief here, these entities, though very powerful, are not all powerful, nor are they all knowing. Right? That is a big concept we also need to get the fuck out of our heads. Right? The entities that we work with are not all powerful and not all knowing. None of them. Zero. Zip. Zilch. Nada. None of them are all powerful and all knowing. Are they more powerful than us? To a certain extent and in specific ways. Do they have more knowledge than we do covering certain things? Most definitely. Most definitely. And we can tap into that. And fucking gnosis. Right? Of all the things I have lost, I miss my mind the most. If you do not disintegrate your being and be reborn to what you need, are you doing it right? Exactly. 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 So that's the thing, right? Stop selling your shit off. Stop selling yourself off. Like, because it's not going to work, right? It doesn't work that way. Right? So what the occult actually means, or what does it actually mean to be an occultist, right? Being an occultist means becoming cause, not effect. The world should bend to your will, not because you're lucky, but because you built the tools to shape it. Not because you're lucky, but because you built the tools to shape it. They're not going to bend to your will because you're some mystical, powerful sorcerer. You built the tools that you needed to shape the world around you, to shape your world. Okay? So, LaVey's standard was real occultism reflects in the real world. If your magic doesn't produce tangible, measurable results, money, influence, stability, power, you're not an occultist, you're a hobbyist. And I fully believe in that. I really do. I really do. Right? Your own energy is so important. It is. Your own energy is the most important part. And most people are foregoing their own energy for some reason. Right? Like they completely forgo that shit. It's like, oh yeah, I'm working with this entity and I'm working with that entity and I'm doing this with this and I'm doing this with that. And it's like, well, what about you? What about your shit? Like, you know, like, I'm going to be completely honest with you. The most tangible results I've ever gotten in my occult journey is when I use my own energy. The most tangible results that I get through ritual, through spell work, is when I use my own energy to project out what it is that I want to happen. I'm just going to throw that out there. Okay? It's not that I don't get results when I work with entities and things like that. Definitely do. The most results, the most consistent results that I get is when I use my own energy. Like calling upon deities or the next goetic spirit has just become another compulsion under the label of occult work. Yep, 100%. Oh, I completely agree, Samael. I like that 100%. 100%. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, it's compulsory. It really is. Right? So the proof, in a direct quote from LaVey here, the proof of your ability lies in the results you achieve, not in how many demons you invoke or how black your candles are. Okay? So when we look at, gnosis, especially from like a Luciferian lens, right? Luciferian gnosis is intelligence, strategy, and sovereignty. Lucifer represents strategic enlightenment, not just feeling empowered, but learning, adapting, and evolving. Okay, that's the whole point of the bearer of light, the light bearer, the guiding light on the path, to show the right path, right? It's not just feeling empowered. Oh, I feel so empowered. And what the fuck are you going to do with it? It's like knowledge, right? People say knowledge is power, but here's the thing. You can have all the degrees you want on your wall. If you're not doing anything with it, what power do you actually have? Nothing. It's the application of knowledge that is powerful, not knowledge in itself. Knowledge is just the weapon. It's the tool. Right? Knowledge is a tool. The application, your ability to apply knowledge in your life, your gnosis, gives you power. That's what that is. Yeah. So, again, Luciferian gnosis is intelligence, strategy, and sovereignty. Lucifer represents strategic enlightenment, not just feeling empowered, but learning, adapting, and evolving. Where are your disciplines, your skills, your accomplishments? Something to look at. It's because the thing is everybody, like I'm noticing, like everybody and their fucking grandmother on YouTube is talking about, you know, their experiences with working with this demon, and their experiences with working with that demon, their experiences with working with this god and that god and this and that, and I commune with. Shut the fuck up. Sorry, I got Dyer in the background. I was asking about mocking her. I was like, no. It just feels like it's a go-to thing for clicks. Most people create an entire series of videos or content in one way or another talking about everything that they worked with except themselves. I mean, it's just the truth of the matter now, isn't it? Right? Now, Belial, again, Belial demands that you dominate your own reality. Belial doesn't bless victims. He blesses those who refuse to be ruled by circumstance. Right? Your bank account, body, business, art, these are mirrors of your infernal work. They reflect your progress with the infernal. And the left-hand path is responsibility. The gods will guide. They will not do it for you. And I think this is one thing that people keep missing when it comes to this. They just don't get it, right? Now, political possession of the occult. Politics is not the occult. And being political doesn't make you powerful. Can we please get rid of this? Right? The occult is transcendence, not a trend. Every time the culture swings, the occult community mimics it. That's not rebellion. That's slavery to fashion. That's what that is. Okay? Lucifer is not a progressive icon. He's the rebel, the questioner of all systems. That includes your echo chamber. Right? The adversary will be the adversary, and the adversary will be adversarial. Food for thought. You know? Belial is not an anarchist fantasy. Belial embodies order without submission. That means building a world from your laws, not burning the world and hoping someone builds it for you. And true occultism is apolitical, but not passive. Right? The black flame burns outside of systems. The goal is to rule yourself, then influence the world, not cry for it to change for you. And this goes into that statement that I always say. There's so many people that want change, but they don't want to change. And if you don't want to change, you will never see change. So stop mixing your politics into the occult. It's not to say that you as an individual can't be political on either side of the aisle that you line on, or neither side of the aisle that you fall on. But stop, like, and that's, I think this goes with like almost everything. Like, this isn't just the occult, but I'm also really fucking sick and tired of people making goth political. It's like, sit down and shut the fuck up. It's not inherently political. And it's like, hey, with birth off a punk is political. It came after, because people were tired of the fucking politics. Like, go, like, listen to some old school songs, like old school, like goth. Like, we're talking Susie and the Banshees, Bauhaus, right? The fucking Cure, okay? There's no politics. Yeah, there's anti-war songs, but you also have to kind of figure, like, most of these fucking things are kind of coming off the backside of war, right? Like, usually Vietnam, right? So the thing is like, of course there's going to be a few songs that are anti-war. They're not inherently political. Slave screams, he thinks he knows what he wants. Slave screams, thinks he has something to say. Slave screams, he hears but doesn't want to listen. Slave screams, he's being beat into submission. Yeah. It's a good song. It's a good song. Fucked up video. Fucked up video. I think I've watched that video more times than I'd like to admit, but it's, yeah. Oh yeah, Old Nin is fucking amazing. It's fucking amazing. But like, if you look at, like, you know, old school, like, you know, like goth shit, like you know, like what you'd consider trad goth, traditional goth. Trust me, there's no politics. Read the goth books. There's one written by the drummer of The Cure. No politics. Goth is inherently apolitical. You can be political, but because you are political doesn't make the things that you are into political. There can be people that you follow and you admire that are either goth or occultists that are political. That, again, doesn't mean that the occult or goth or things of that nature are inherently political. They're not. Stop. Stop it. And I swear to God, if you come into my comment section and you try to use the punk argument because you're a dipshit, I'm banning you off of the channel. Like, I'm not even gonna bother responding to your comment. I'm gonna hide you so no one can see you. And I'm just saying it right now. It's not because I don't have an argument. I have arguments for days. I just can't be fucking bothered. Right? Because I know inevitably that shit's gonna come up, right? Inevitably, right? The punk argument, so many, right? It's like, well, because punk was political, that makes no. It's two different fucking subcultures. There's overlap, there's crossover, but two different subcultures. Come on. Stop. Right? So, yeah. There's another part that I want to get into, but I just don't have the time to get into it. And I think this is like the best part. So I think I might kind of start out Friday's show talking about this next segment, right? It's accountability is the gate to power, right? Because I have to start work in 7 minutes. So, yeah, part two. Yes, part two. So yeah, I have to start work in 7 minutes. So I just don't have time to get into this next segment in the depth and detail that I want to get into it with. So, we'll definitely pick this up on Friday, getting into accountability is the gate to power. Okay. And yeah, this isn't a call out to make people feel bad about themselves. This is a call out to hopefully give you enough of a kick in the ass to wake you the fuck up so you can realize that you have more power than you think. Playing the victim negates your own power. You openly take your power away from yourself when you play the victim. So, yeah. Stop doing it. Anyway, thank you all for being here. You guys are fucking amazing. You're the reason I do this. See you guys on Friday. And as always, hell thy fucking self. We'll see you in the next one. Peace the fuck out.